Hello again. This session will be about the stomach histology. The stomach is divided histologically into three regions. We have cardiac region, or called cardia, the part that near esophageal orifice, which contain the cardiac glands. And also we have pyloric region, or called pylorus, and the part that proximal to the pyloric sphincter, which contain pyloric glands. And also we have fundic region, or fundus, and the largest part of the stomach, which is situated between the cardia and pylorus and contain fundic or gastric gland. In this picture you see upper to the right of the screen, to the left of the screen, this is the cardiac gland, and lower down to the left, this is the pylorus gland, and the rest in between the cardiac and the pyloric gland, this is the gastric gland. And obviously there is a difference in the shape of the gland according to this location. The stomach is lined by simple columnar epithelium. The mucosa of the stomach, it is highly folded, and this is called gastric rugae. And at the end of the surface of the mucosa, gastric gland open into a pits into the mucosa. Gastric gland first. Gastric gland are formed of many types of cells. We have mucous neck cells, secrete mucus, which play an important role in lubricating and protecting the surface epithelium. Parietal cells or exanthic cells that secrete HCl and intrinsic factor, and these cells is a very important role when it is destroyed or decrease in secretion of intrinsic factor will lead to something called pernicious anemia or B12 deficiency, because it aids in absorption of B12 terminal ion. Also we have chief cells or zymogen cells that secrete pepsin and lipase, and we have also endocrine cells that secrete gastrin. Hello again. This session will be about the stomach histology. So that about gastric cells. Let's talk about cardiac glands. Cardiac glands are composed of mucus secreting cells, and they are limited in narrow region of the stomach. It's called the cardia, area near the esophagus. Their secretion is combination with that of the esophageal cardiac glands, contributing to the gastric juice and help to protect the esophageal epithelium against gastric reflux. Pyloric gland, these also are similar to surface mucus cell and help to protect the pyloric mucosa from the gastric acid also. Pyloric glands are located in the pylorus, pyloric antrum, the part of the stomach between the fundus and the pylorus, and they are branched coil tubular glands type. So let's continue about stomach histology. As we discussed in the previous lecture of GIT histology in the beginning of elementary tract histology, we said that the GIT is lined by mucosa, and mucosa itself underneath is lamina propria and muscularis mucosa, and after the mucosa we find some mucosa, after some mucosa we have muscularis externa, and then after that we have cirrhosa or adventitia according to the location of the organ inside the EIT cavity or outside the EIT cavity. So after we talk about the mucosa and mucous glands, and we go down to the lamina propria. And lamina propria of the stomach is a loose connective tissue. Here is contained the blood vessels and lymphatic vessels and diffuse lymphoid tissue. Beneath the lamina propria, we have muscularis mucosa, consists of outer longitudinal and inner circular layer. The submucosa consists of dense irregular connective tissue that contains large blood vessels and lymphatic also. And here, as in the esophagus, the submucosa also contains submucosal plexus or called mesenteric plexus. That's help in the GIT motility. Muscularis externa consists of three muscular layers. We have inner and oblique and layer of middle circular layer, outer longitudinal layer. We have three layers here in the muscularis externa, inner oblique, middle circular and outer longitudinal. Muscularis externa here contain mesenteric plexus or Auerbach plexus, also help in the motility. The circular layer is thickened around the pylorus to form the pyloric sphincter, as we discussed previously in the anatomy, that the pyloric sphincter is formed by thickening of the circular muscle layer. That means the middle one. So when this thickening, it is like very obvious that sometimes inborn can be born by the congenital pyloric stenosis. This treat surgically at this side of the sphincter, congenital pyloric stenosis. This is the thickening of the inner circular muscle. I'm supposed to memorize this one. The serosa is the serous membrane that consists of simple squamous epithelium or called mesothelium. Here, this is a pyloric gland. You can see the submucosa, muscularis mucosa. After that, we have the pyloric glands and gastric pits. Moving toward the lumen of the stomach. This is a part of the mucosa, the pyloric gland found in the mucosa, and the mucosa in its parts, lamina propria, muscularis mucosa, and then muscular submucosa. And outer side, this and the rest of the picture will be the muscular externa and serosa. The shape of gastric gland. Here, this is the esophageal cardiac gland and esophageal gland. You can see here a muscular externa in the funding gastric gland. The fourth layer is very obvious, the muscular layer here, and a little bit different between the gastric glands and cardiac gland of the esophagus. That's all about the stomach histology. I hope it's very clear. Thank you very much.